Right guys, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to crack open the chicken and we're going to create a marinade for it. Okay, so you can tell how much I paid for it. I've already cracked open some of the chicken to actually help you very, very quickly. I want to make this video as quickly as possible. Damn it, I made the first mistake already. Right, here we go. So we're going to put some lemon juice. We're going to add quite a bit of marinade because there's quite a bit of chicken. I'm going to individually marinate each chicken piece. We're going to add to it black pepper. I love lemon and black pepper. Lemon and black pepper has an amazing flavour to it. I discovered it, even though I've been eating it unrecognisably through Chinese restaurants. I actually discovered it in an Italian restaurant. I believe it was in Wimbledon as well. I can't remember whether it was La Nonna or it was what's the other? Al Forno or San Lorenzo. Like all of them, for different reasons, and I know the people at each one of them, so that makes it. So that's basically the marinade done. Actually, I also want to add one chili to it, so let's cut up the chili quickly. Just chop off the ends. There we go, done. What I want to do is yeah, I'll clear that up afterwards. Cooking is a mess all the time anyway. What we're going to do is we're going to crush that chili into that, so make it into a nice marinade. Here we go. That's it, good. Just went all over. I'm going to smell of chili at the end of this. Let's just take that out. I might keep that aside somewhere. Actually, I'm going to put that in a bowl so that it can help later on to soak it up. Juices. There you go. I'll put that in the bottom. I do like a very, very spicy dish, just in case you wondered. My influences have been mainly Indian, yes, but also various places around the world. I like strong flavours, that's what I do, and very rich flavours as well. Some people are turned off by that, but it depends on how you use them together. So we're crushing a chili in there. Come on, get in there, get in there. That's it, good. There we go. So we've got a lemon, black pepper and chili marinade. Might just have a few bits and pieces in there, that's good. Right, what else shall we add? I'm going to add one garlic clove. I should chop this up, but it's okay, because I'm crushing it, it'll be easier, it'll be quick anyway. So I'm just going to crush that garlic just to make sure that I can get the peel off. Shown you this before, how to do it. Very easy, very simple. I'm going to crush that garlic into there as well. So that's our marinade done. That's going to be our base starting point, guys. Chop that in half as well so it can go in there. I don't mind it fusing with the actual chili, so I'm going to use like this. Put that in there as well. So I'm putting it in the bowl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to marinate the chicken and leave it for a while whilst I prepare the rest of the ingredients. So I haven't actually prepared any of the other ingredients so far. There we go. Let's get that out. Good. We can always make more if we run out. It's not a problem, so that's why I'm leaving it aside. Right, with the chicken. Here we go. Marinate it, just soak it in and rub it all over if you need to. Yeah, use your fingers, of course. There we go. Just lightly do it, because what we're going to do is we're going to leave that for a while. Since you've seen the first one, now obviously this is going to take me time. I'm going to leave it there for the moment, and you're going to see this video edited for the rest of it. Prep has now been done. It's taken me about an hour and a half, only because I like to finely chop things. So what we've got currently is in a pan. I haven't started this yet, so these are all still raw ingredients. We've got the red onion, the 2 white onions, we've got 1 yellow pepper and 2 red peppers. That's all I've put in so far. The rest of the ingredients are here, ready to go in. Now what I've got is I've got 2 chopped tomatoes, I've got 2 chilies that I've cut up because we're going to use a garlic crusher to crush them in. And also I've got 3 cloves of garlic ready to go in as well. So that's going to be added to that mixture. With regards to the chicken, right, let's see if we can put this down right. Right, as you notice, I've actually covered it in cling film. The reason why is because, and I've kept it at room temperature. 2 reasons. Okay, number 1, air makes food and drink react. Okay, so you will lose any of the freshness of whatever you marinate anything in, including like, I mean, like you're especially probably aware of like the fact that the wines, for example, they change flavour when you open them and you let them breathe. And so that's for that reason I wanted to capture the flavour in there. I've kept it at room temperature because putting it in the fridge also mutates the flavour as well as it doesn't actually make it spread as well. So keeping it at room temperature also will help in the cooking process. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get the chicken out. We're going to put it in this baking tray. I've put the oven on at 150 degrees centigrade. So it's not going to require much more than just literally plonking it in and putting some olive oil on, just so that it can actually just cook enough to get it off the bone. I want it to cook a little bit. I don't want it to cook entirely, so I'm just lining up the chicken pieces as we go along. So I've got loads of these to put in, but I'm just going to do this very, very quickly, as you can see, and then stick it in the oven. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get started with the sauce. Okay, so oven's on at 150 degrees centigrade. I'm going to cook it for about 20 minutes. I want it to cook on low heat because I want the chicken to cook properly from the inside out, and without actually braising it too much, because we are going to cook this again once we get the meat off the bone. So let's just line that up. Good, excellent. I've got the space, I think. One more left. Perfect. There we go. And I'm just going to pour the rest of this over. Now I'm going to cover this in olive oil. There we go. So that should actually make the flavour seep through. Let's put some olive oil on it and we'll stick it in the oven. I'm going to wash my hands very quickly so you can see what I've done. Nice liberal spreading. The reason why is because olive oil, well, any oil, when you put it in the oven, it helps it cook without drying it too much. I don't want it to dry. So we're not going to put any more seasoning on that because we've already seasoned it, we've marinated it. The oven's ready to go. So I'm just going to stick this in the oven. I'll be back with you in a second. What you see here is, you see the mixture I just presented to you earlier on, which is the peppers, the tomatoes and the onions. What I've done is I've put olive oil over it and also this stuff. This is chili infused oil. Yeah, it's like just to cover it, just to make it a little bit more spicier and kind of like kick things in a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to add the herbs to it now as quickly. So black pepper going in. There's going to be quite a bit of this sauce, so let's just do this. Coriander. I love coriander. It gives it that kind of lemony, kind of tangy kind of flavour. This is beautiful stuff. This is something that you have not seen me use before, is tarragon. Tarragon gives it that kind of like, that extra tangy flavour. Yeah, we're going to go for tangy flavours this time, yeah? It's going to be great. So let's put that in. Onion salt. One of my favourites. Not too much, just enough. I mean, we're going to make quite a bit of sauce. Oregano, absolutely incredible stuff. So glad that it's in so many recipes. Now we're going to add rosemary. Rosemary to it. I love rosemary. We're going to add rosemary to the chicken as well. In fact, why don't I do that right now? I'm going to just take the chicken quickly out of the oven and cover it in rosemary, so that we can cook that with rosemary. Actually, no. You know what? We're going to fry the chicken before we actually put it in. I'm going to fry it with the rosemary when I do it later on, so I'll keep that out. Now, whilst that comes to a heat, we're just going to mix it in. Already the flavours are just coming through beautifully. You see, it almost smells like a fresh salad. it's the herbs that are doing it. Seriously, let the herbs speak for themselves. We are sticking to base ingredients for the moment. We will be going to a different set later on. This is a several stage cooking process. So, whilst that's doing, right, we're going to now crush the garlic and chilli in. Notice I do this in stages. I don't do this all in one go, because I want to know how it tastes, how it smells. I go by smell as well as taste. So that gives me an idea of like what's going on in the pan. So 3 cloves of garlic going in. As I said, this is going to be a hefty dish. There we go, we'll mix it up a little bit. Actually, just getting this gunk out of this crusher so that it can crush the rest of the garlic properly, rather than just let it gather at the bottom. There we go. Last of the garlic going in. There we go. Lovely. Yes, as I said to you before, I choose certain herbs to go with certain meats. So with chicken, my preferred one is rosemary. Absolutely incredible flavour. Guys, if you've never tried it, do it, yeah? It's like, it's even when you roast something, yeah, when you roast chicken, yeah? It's like, put rosemary. It's incredible. It gives it a lovely flavour. Let's get that out. So I'm learning as I'm going along. Yesterday you saw me fiddling with a ladle to try and get this out. That's because I wasn't concentrating, I was talking too much at the same time. So I've learned a lesson. I can go in there, let it flavour it. I lost a little bit there. There, you see, all the juices are coming out of the actual chili. So I want that to spread all the way through. It's beautiful. I mean, like crushing chilies, yeah? Using a garlic crusher. Not many people would think that. Actually, I'm going to leave that as too thick. I'm going to put that in. Otherwise, some unfortunate person is going to come across that. Let me take that one out as well. I'll leave that out. I might chop it up with a knife. I haven't decided yet. Let's see how the flavours go first, yeah? So we're fusing flavours together. I mean, look at the colour. If only you could smell what's going on here, oh my gosh. It's like, there's an incredible fusion of smells. Fragrances, whoops, that went all over the place. Okay, right, let's see what we can get out of this. Let me get a knife. Stick to what I know, hey? Experiment. Right, that's the chili in. Now that should give it enough of a tang. That should give it enough of a strength. Because soon we're going to add the tomatoes in, but let's make that cook first. That's good. Right, so I've chopped up 2 whole tomatoes as fresh tomatoes. To that we're going to add the rest of the passata from yesterday. So let's just add all of that in now. That's going to go. That's going to disappear. We're going to squeeze it all out. Guys, here's a good technique, you know, it's like if you can't get some of it out, put cold water in it, stir it up a bit, mix it up a bit, and we've got even more of the sauce. That's going to evaporate. Some of it's going to evaporate anyway, so water will naturally evaporate first, no big deal. You just had almost a potential disaster going on. I should actually learn to clear up after myself, to be honest. Luckily, I've broken one plate already. Don't want to break another one. These are peeled tomatoes, so they're going to go in. We're going to make a very tomatoey sauce because we've got a lot of ingredients going on in there. I'm going to crush these peeled tomatoes up. Ideally, I wanted chopped tomatoes, and I didn't know what I had left, to be honest. There we go, that's one. Right guys, it's coming up to a simmer very, very well. I've just tasted it. I don't need to put anything else in there. That tastes wonderful. I don't need to add anything else, but I will add basil. Basil and tomatoes go really well together. And I haven't even opened this. Oh yes, it's brand new. I use basil quite a lot. Confused me. I was like, why have I not opened this? Like, do I have an old one? I do have an old one. That's why. Right. I was wondering. I normally use basil. It's like, what on earth? And I've spare. Wonderful. Let's mix basil in, and that will complete the sauce. I don't need to do anything else. I'm not adding any magical sauces to it whatsoever. As I said, I've tasted it already. Absolutely wonderful. Let it speak for itself. That is incredible. I'm so happy with that. I mean, normally I would add Worcester sauce, wine, as you've seen me do, but on this occasion, no, not necessary. Let the flavors speak for themselves. Let's stick to the natural ingredients. Let it cook well. This, oh, if only you could taste it, guys, with a tasting spoon. I'm going to try it again. Let's take a tasting spoon. Incredible, lovely. I'm happy. Hey guys, right, okay, the chicken looks as though it's nearly done. I don't know if you can see that very well. The light keeps getting in the way. Anyway, that's what the chicken looks like. So that's about getting ready now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down here whilst I get the chicken out. What you're going to see me do is, watch this. We are going to take the chicken off the bone now. As I said, we didn't want to. Oh my gosh, lemon juice in there is incredible. That's really good. I'm really happy with that. Right, good. So what we've done is we've half roasted it, yeah? We're not fully roasting it. I recommend taking a pair of tongs for this next episode, next exercise, and also a very sharp knife. I'll take one of these. I'm taking one of these knives. Right guys, slight change of plan. I've realised that it wasn't working very well just directly putting it in the skillet, so I'm using a chopping board, and what I'm doing is I'm taking it apart. It makes it so much easier. So I'd recommend you guys, if you end up with boned chicken and you want to take the chicken off the bone, do it this way. It's so much quicker and so much easier. So this is just a quick amendment, and this is what I'm doing. So you might find some skin that comes off, just take it off, it's fine, you don't need that. It's fine. I mean, the chicken's well cooked anyway. I mean, it's going to be nice and tender by the time it's cooked. So we're going to cook this a second time. So as you can see, I'm just taking bits off. We just need it in shreds. We don't need it in pieces. Otherwise, you'd end up going for chicken breast instead. So in this particular case, shreds are good enough for me. There, that's one done. And I'll just carry on with the rest. Right guys, so after we've skimmed the chicken on the chopping board, this is what it looks like. And I have to say, this is the most wholesome chicken you will ever get. Even when you get, oh actually I missed a bit there, talking about gristle, I was just coming on to that. Anyway, let's get rid of the rest of it. Anyway, so basically what happens is, you don't realise this guys, but in chicken breast and in any other chicken, you are left with gristle, you're left with fat, you're left with bits that they're a little bit more rubbery and a little bit more chewier than the natural chicken itself. So in doing that exercise, you've removed all of that, and it's easy to identify that as you take it off the bone, because it's the bits that actually just kind of, you know, just don't come apart really. And so it's easy to identify those. So what we've ended up with is pure wholesome. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That is the most wholesome chicken you are going to get. So with my hand. You remember what we marinated the chicken in and we cooked it? Now, I'm not going to add any butter to it. I'm simply going to add that marinade back into the frying pan, and we're going to fry the chicken in there. So here we go. And this is the marinade. Let's get a ladle. Ladle is good. Wash this out. There we go. The marinade is going back, and it's going to cook in the marinade. So we're just going to keep an eye on that, turning it over to make sure the whole thing cooks okay, and then we're ready to assemble. We can get rid of that now. Tongs weren't actually useful to me tonight. I thought you would be useful. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that fry up, and I'll catch you in a bit. Yeah, that's good. So I've lined one tortilla up. Let's put some chicken in there. Just line the chicken up, it's fine. Yeah, chicken will hold together very well. That's amazing work, that's good. We've got plenty of chicken, so I could put a little bit more. I actually like mine meat heavy. Actually, that's a little bit too far out, so let's move that in a bit, because I want to fold it over when I eventually do this. There we go. Marinade is good to use again afterwards if you wanted to. Let's put some salsa on top. Just line that nicely. There's one thing I forgot. Cheddar cheese. So let's get that out quickly. We're going to grate the cheese as we go along. I keep forgetting to prepare the cheese. That's the thing. It's like I'm so busy doing other things that I forget to prepare the cheese. But I've got a grater ready at least anyway. So let's grate some cheese over that. But this is probably the most appropriate way of doing it, to be honest. Perfect. And if you want to add any more seasoning to it, feel free to. I've put plenty of seasoning in the salt. I'm just going to let the flavors speak for themselves now. I've done whatever I needed to. So let's fold that over and put the next tortilla along it. So about halfway. So yeah, so we've got a lip as well. Repeat again, and then until you reach the last one. And there we are, guys. We've got the 8 tortillas ready. The final bit is, the final 2 stages is pour the rest of the sauce over them. Remember, we are going to bake this, yeah? So just cover them. This is an enchilada. This is how you make an enchilada. Cover it with sauce. Well, this is how I do it, at least, anyway. There we go. Spread it about if you need to. It's fine. Yeah, wherever it needs to go. It's fine. Just doesn't need to be a thick layer, you know? It's like a final layer. It's like you've got plenty of it inside anyway. And then what we do is grate the rest of the cheese on. We are going to gratin this again. Yes, I love gratin, as you can probably guess. The oven's already on 180 degrees centigrade, so that's all ready to go in. I would cook it for about half an hour and then job done. So let's just put this on, sprinkle the cheese all over. That's a final finishing touch. Remember, because these are 8 pieces, these are share dishes. Who the hell am I going to share with? What the hell is going on in my life? Anyway, there we go. That should be enough. I'm going to spread that about a little bit because we've got plenty everywhere. There, just nicely dust it. There you go. And one final thing will be, I'm going to add garlic pepper to the top as a final seasoning. And then, guys, we're going to stick it in the oven. Garlic pepper coming out. I can find where I put it. Gosh. Oh, it's right in front of me. Gotta get more of this. Dust it with garlic pepper. And we're ready to go in. So half an hour and it will be done. That's it, guys. So you'll see the result when it comes out. This is an 8-person dish. I don't have 8 people around me. Oh well. Guys, in half an hour. See you in a bit. Right, guys. The enchiladas have started to bubble away, which basically means that they should be ready. When they get to the stage of bubbling away, time to take them out. Right, this is going to be a heavy dish now. Gosh, it's really tricky to handle. Let's see if I can handle this. Right, yes, good. There we go. I'm going to bring that closer so that you can see what it looks like. When the dish is finished, guys, this is what it looks like. It's nicely browned on one of the tortillas there. Let's just turn the oven off. And you'll notice that the cheese has melted really nicely. You can probably notice some of it bubbling away still. So guys, this is it. Taste test time, isn't it? There's always something to do at the end. The job's never finished. So let's cut a piece. I'm going to have this ugly looking one at the end. The reason why is because it doesn't look, I mean obviously it's going to fall apart. What's the best way to serve this? Ladle. It's so liquidy, that's why. A ladle. Let's take a ladle. Just take that out. If it comes out. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. We're just like, if it collapses, I mean this is just for me. When it cools down, it will retain its shape, so don't worry. So let's try this out. Come on. I think a knife would have also helped as well, to be honest, but there we go, we've got, oops. Sorry. So, in fact, I think I'll leave it at that. I'm not that hungry. Chicken, I love chicken. Actually, I love meat of any kind, to be honest. So let's leave that aside. Should move that there. I'm going to move that out of the way. So I'm going to put that back on the stove. It's cool now there. Good. Taste test time, here we go. So guys, this is what it looks like on my plate. Bit of spillage going on. I have to clean that up in a bit. Notice I've cleaned up as I go along. There's always something to do. Never ever run out of ideas. Now that is the most natural flavour enchilada I've ever had. And the interesting thing is, you can taste absolutely everything in there. As I said, you know, it's like the only ingredients you saw me put in were the ones that you actually saw in the video. I didn't add anything special. I wanted to just, in this particular occasion, I just wanted the flavours to speak for themselves. And they certainly do. It actually feels like quite a light dish, to be honest, because of the lack of flavouring. Well, not because of the lack of flavouring, but the lack of richness that's normally associated with an enchilada. This actually feels like a salad when it's actually going down. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to enjoy some of this and see how far I get. But thank you very much indeed, guys. That's it.